Hi everyone and welcome to this tutorial. I want to show you quickly an app we are making to document open hardware projects or projects related to COVID-19. This is an example of what the app can do, and the idea is that we start documenting it in a format that people can use it, download it, and also read it in a PDF if they need. So here's a very simple finder, and the more projects we have, the better. There is a very advanced search engine that will automatically filter things related to based on metadata and things like that. So I wanted to quickly give you a brief tour to how are we working if you are interested in documenting, and I'm gonna just follow the guidelines that we have in the in this project board in GitHub. And these are two projects that we have picked, but the process is very simple. The idea is that if you want to document a project, you join us in GitHub, and then we open a new issue here, and you decide which project you want to pick up. Here is in the guidelines, and here is a checklist of the things you want to do to check that you actually have documented a good project or properly. So what I'm going to do is, because we have selected already one which has been made by the TU Delft, I'm going to assign it to me now. So to show you the entire workflow, I'm going to assign it to me because I'm going to do it so that others know that I'm going to work on this project. And perhaps I'm going to say that I'm going to document it in English only, because it might be that other people want to document it in Spanish. So I want to say ventilator adapter, and I'm just going to put here English. Okay, so that people know. Now people know that I'm working on this one and I'm doing it in English. So what I will do now is go to the issue, and because I already know the guys that did this project, I'm going to, but this is how it's actually working. People are just sharing their work online, and this happens to be Jerry's project. So they have a nice website, and they have a nice documentation here, but we want to have a standard so that other projects are having the same standard and they can be modified easily and contributed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one as an example and work on it from scratch. So I will go to the template that we have. This is the template that we have, and I'm going to start doing it right on. I'm going to download it to make it easy for you, and it comes here doc template, and I'm going to call it scuba mask. Let's see what name do they have here to have the right name. Well, I can change the name later. So it's downloaded. Now I'm gonna find the name. Okay, COVID lifesaver mask. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna rename it. Well, I'm first gonna extract it, and I'm gonna rename it as COVID scuba mask TU Delft, right? Okay. So now that I have this, there is a structure here that is pretty simple. You can open this in an actual editor, like Notepad, for instance. So let's say open with, choose another app, and I'm gonna find a Notepad here. Okay, and you will see that there is an example of the things you can do. I put it also in Spanish because I speak Spanish, so people that might want to do it in Spanish and don't know English, they can also read this. But the interesting thing is that I'm using a standard that is from the Open Know-how community to document hardware, and this will allow us, our search engine, to find data really easily. So what I'm going to do immediately is to say here, scuba mask life saver, right? And I'm going to save it, and perhaps I want to go to the website and replace the content. I'm going to remove this here because this is just a template, and I'm going to save this for now and open it in my editor because I prefer to work in an editor environment. And what I'm going to do is open it in Visual Studio Code because it's what I used to work, and I'm going to open a new window, and I'm going to open the project. So this is our project that we have started, and I'm gonna open this one, and we're gonna do it from the start until we document it in GitHub issues. So we have the source readme here. Oops, sorry, the readme here, and I'm gonna put immediately here the date 2020, the month. I don't know actually the month. I'm gonna check. But you see, this is really important to know, and I'm gonna put it for now undefined. I also would like to have a version, which is something that this file should have, but I will replace this in the website. In our template, but we should have something like 0.1.0, something like that. So if it has been tested, I would recommend to say, okay, version 1.0.0 because it has been tested. If you're going to make your first release. So the author, I would assume it's a group of people, so I would assume I will put for now one person that I know that is working, Jan, and then maybe he could change the name. That's why we're doing it in a repository. I'm gonna put Jerry the boss here because he's working, but there are probably other people, so you can add them here. Maybe you want to also name the parts, like for instance a filter of a certain type, and this is where it becomes interesting because you will start asking in the community, what do you need to document this? I don't know if they have a license, and they should specify that. And yeah, I put it there. If we go to the mask and we look for a description, we can say, okay, this is the description: a reusable full face mask for use by medical staff, right? So we can do this, and we can put it here. And in affiliation, we can say TU Delft. We could even say TU Delft and Haglanden Medical Center, Haglanden Medical Center in the Netherlands, right? We could also say here, which is not now in the manifest, but we maybe it's in the manifest, but not in this template. We can say location, and we can put one or several locations. But we can put one location here, which is the Netherlands, Delft, and this is something good enough for the metadata, right? Maybe keywords we can say here: COVID-19, medical equipment, mask, scuba mask, filter, these kind of things, right? So we have made our first very simple contribution concerning data. Now, we want to also add the source of the files that you need to build it. So what we can do is we say, okay, let's see if these guys have something to build this mask, and then it says here, start making your own mask. Great. Then we go here and we will find a manual, which is gonna be very useful in the documentation section. But so this is how you do it. You can also download the manual, which is really cool. And this is the 3D connector manual. It's also here. Okay, so I could actually do this, download this one now, put it inside this one, inside docs, actually English, because it's done in English, and I'll put it there. So this is great. Now I'm going to find the source. Well, I'm looking for the source now. How to make it, disclaimer. Okay, how to make it. Go to manual, and you'll see here that this is what we're trying to solve with the app. Now I'm trying to find the source files to replicate it, and it's not so easy. I have to really navigate a lot in the website and see where to do it. And here they have the Thingiverse, so this is where the source is, and which is another website as well. And I'm having an issue now with the website, by the way. So let's see, where can I find it? My friends in the chat have it somewhere here, so I will see where is it. And I think you will get my point now of why it's important to also make things findable. I'm going to go again here, and I cannot find it, so I'll ask again. Maybe I'll go to Thingiverse, and this is the kind of tedious work that we want to avoid people when downloading things. So I'm gonna put here Lifesaver to Delft. Maybe I can find it. Take some time. Cannot find it. Okay. Okay, so I just found the link, because luckily my friend Yanis added in our issue. So I go here, and then I go to immediately to the Thingiverse. So here's the cool thing, they have the images already here, which is really nice, and they have some comments, they have a summary, so it's really cool, right? And this is the motivation, what they're doing it, etc., etc. Another thing I want to do is I want to put the website of the creators or the organization that has done it in the metadata as well. So I'm going to put it here, project link, right? I don't know if the best word is project link, but this is the link to the organization that did it, where also the project is being presented. And because it's done in Thingiverse, it's really easy. I can download the files. There is a license, so everything is really nice in this project already. The only problem that I found is that the findability is not solved yet, so we want to help in that. And I'm going to extract the files here, which are the source files apparently. So here are the files. I'm gonna just put them here and paste them here in the COVID. Okay, here I'm gonna put it in the source files. Paste. I'm gonna put the images actually in our images repo, because this structure allows us to use the GitHub APIs. So in docs I go to image. Actually I'll create the folder images here, and here I'll put the images, right? Okay. I'm also gonna put a little image on the at the root of the project, because it's the one that I want to show in the repo. And then the next step is to actually do the docs, to put the documentation that we want to show here. But before doing the documentation and all these steps, I just want to briefly show you how to publish what we have already in the organization, so that you know how it will render in the app, right? So I'm going to do that in Git, which is something that for you might be difficult, but it's good that you see how it's done. So I'm going to open the terminal, and I'm going to do git init, because we're going to start a new Git repository, and I'm going to do the first commit, which is the first version of this documentation, and I'm going to say okay, first commit to document Cuba mask project. Okay, this is good enough to start. Yeah, and the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do git remote add, and I'm going to actually create a new repository, because we haven't created the repository in our organization. By the way, I also need to add the license, because they have had a license here, and the license, okay, I'm gonna go here and download again, and the license is Creative Commons with non-commercial attribution. I should copy the license properly. I will do that later to not lose too much time on this one. But yeah, let's keep doing this. I'm gonna create a repository in our organization. Sorry. Okay, this is our organization. You can alternatively do it in your own repository, but because I have access, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna create a new one, and I'm gonna call it TU Delft Scuba Mask. '19. There might be a description here, but we have already put it in the metadata, which is more important. I'm not going to initialize anything, because I'm going to populate this empty repository with the one I just created. But I'm going to copy this one just like this, and I'm going to add it to this one. Git remote add origin. This is our remote repository, and I'm going to paste it. I added to it, so now because I have the rights, I will push it, and Git asks me to set the stream upstream ahead this commit, so I'm gonna do it, and let's see if it works. Right now we have a push here. Let's refresh, and let's find out if our app actually rendered what we had. So if you see now what we have done, we uploaded the repo, and it immediately appears in our app, right? If I click here, once I started documented or putting a markdown file here, I will immediately get documentation. So the nice thing about doing this is that if you follow a standard, you can automatically start creating a predictable way of presenting designs so that everyone in the world can really find your design and replicate it step by step. So this is the basic process. Then we can start populating and putting more data, improving it if you want. But this is really the basics. So I think with this one, with these steps, I'm still having it in progress. So you see, I'm gonna put this one. I think you already saw in the documentations of designs. I put it here, and I still leave it in progress because it's not finished. But I think it gives you an overall idea of what we're doing and where do we want to go. If you have any questions, just drop in the chat the questions, and please get involved, because this is really a nice way to spread your word out if you have a nice hardware project that you want people to find. So yeah, I hope this was useful, and I will see you around. Take care and wear masks, which is the most important. Stay at home as much as possible.